So it's turn 2 of the combined game of June 44, August 44. And I always forget one thing. It's a game, and we need to know how to win. Now, victory in this game is essentially achieved by capturing cities on the map. And this is the campaign victory point schedule. Basically, it's showing me, this first column, the turn at which a victory point becomes available in its value, and then the final turn when it, is no longer available. So, for instance, Caen, first hex, or 1 hex of Caen, is worth 2 points starting on the second turn. It remains worth 2 points until the June 21-22 turn, where it falls to 1 point. So it means that I want to be quick as possible to capture these locations and get the maximum victory points. So now that we have the first special invasion turn complete, we can get on with the standard gameplay. The first thing we do is roll for weather. We roll a dice, and we get an 8. That means we have rain this turn. Not very good for the Allies. That means they only get 1 naval point and 2 air units. Now, an interesting thing about air is that they have a random chance of success or failure. So we will randomly pick 2 markers out of this set, not knowing whether or not we're going to have successes or failures. So the weather also affects some inherent interdiction to German movement, and also the supply and reinforcements are affected, or supply anyways, affected by storm turns. So we will see that the Germans will have no movement modifier since the rain is in effect. And we'll roll for supply. Roll a 5, which means we have 3 supply units and 1 Allied replacement. The Germans also rolled for replacements. They rolled a 6, so no replacements. So we're going to apply our 1 Allied replacement point to the 4th Infantry Division there. Additionally, we have reinforcements for both sides, and we will place reinforcements for both sides at the same time. These are the reinforcements for each side. The Allies bring in reinforcements at specified beaches, and the Germans have hex locations where their reinforcements come in. German reinforcements, it's going to look kind of curious because they're coming in the middle of the map here just due to the expansion nature of the game. So we have the forces coming in here, spreading across. We have the Lehr Panzer here, 12th SS, and also this infantry division right there. For the Allies, of course they'll come in on the beaches. We've got the 51st Infantry here, plus some artillery. The armor coming in here. 2nd Infantry and some artillery coming in at Omaha, and then the 90th Infantry over at Utah. Now comes the card draw. Basically, we draw cards for each side. So I'll draw a card here, 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 and here. So this is the German deck. That's the Allied deck. I'll just play both cards at the best advantage of the side that has them. So looking at the German cards, we have 2 cards, overcautious and busting the bocage. So this card is bad for the Allies, this is good for the Allies. So as a German, I don't want to do anything that's going to be good for the Allies. Now this is 2 cards that are very good for the very good for the Germans. Major Storm, bad for the Allies, and the Secure in the East, good for the Germans. So we have to play some cards. So I think what the Germans will do is play the overcautious card. It's very very penal to the Allies. So we can play one card in this phase and then potentially play another card during combat. So we're going to play overcautious. This means the Allies can't move south off of their beaches, which is going to be really rough for them this turn. We don't need that. But then I'm going to discard this busting the bocage, because essentially that means that the Allied player won't get it. For the Allies, we don't want either of these cards. They're both bad, but I think we will discard Secure in the East, and we'll discard Major Storm. So neither of those help us. We'll throw them in the deck and, well, the discard pile, and then we'll draw 2 new ones next turn. Now we'll start the Allied player turn. The first thing we do is place any air units that we want for any air operations we want to take place. So air units can do 2 things basically. They can aid an attack, or they can serve as interdiction. So I think we're going to try to interdict, since we have such a poor prospect of advancing this turn due to that card. So I think we will interdict here off the layer division, and maybe right over here. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Now, when we come to it, we'll find out whether or not those missions are successful. That'll be our plan right now. Now we can move our units. Remember, we can't move south, but we can land on the beach. So, I'm going to move due west there for the 4th Division, and then land on the beach. The artillery, I'm going to land on the beach, and this infantry division land on the beach. This is a little tougher because I have a chance of overstacking here, so I actually have to land the armor division but leave the brigade off the beach. Similar here, I can move, well, I think I'll go ahead and move the infantry division west along with its brigade, then I'll land the armored all right there. The reason I thought of that is I have the Canadians right here. I'm going to move east and then land the infantry division. And I'm going to leave those guys right there since they're unable to really move anywhere. And that'll be our movement phase right there. Move into our Allied combat phase. First, let's flip our air units over. So that's a successful interdiction mission there. See about this one. And also successful. That means our 2 abort units remained in the cup. Let's undertake any combats we can here. We have really only 2 spots, well 3. I think we can manage 3 attacks here. We have 1 naval point to use. We have 3 supply, so I think we'll just go ahead and use up all our supply for each of these attacks. So first, we'll go ahead and plan on attacking right here. I think we can attack with that overcautious card, but I don't think we can advance after our attack. So we're just going to try to do some damage on this guy. So we have 6, 10, plus the naval point. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the naval point there. 10, and 3 in defense, so that's a difference of 7. So we'll go ahead and roll on our combat table. And the Allies rolled a 10 on the +7. That's 2 losses, which kills that division. And the Germans roll a 1, which is no hits. So unfortunately, we cleared the way and we can't actually advance anywhere off the beach. So now we're going to go ahead and attack here. Pretty strong. And we have that artillery, we're not going to fire it. So we have 14 against 5 plus 9. The maximum differential on the table is 7. So we rolled a 6, which is a hit, and the Germans rolled a 10, which is also a hit. So that means the Germans will lose a step, and we'll lose a step here in the 29th Infantry. I wasn't expending my supply correctly. Now my last attack is going to be way over here. I'm going to throw the 4th Division against that little garrison unit. So far all of these attacks have occurred in basically clear terrain with no real benefit, but we see the garrison is here in the bocage country. So we're going to have 5 against, and I'm going to use this airborne unit as well. That's 6 against 1, but since he's in bocage, that's actually 3. So it's a +3 differential for the Allies. So they rolled a 2, and that's no effect. And the Germans rolled a 7, so that's a hit. That's kind of rough. Our full division was unable to move that little garrison unit. So that'll be it for the Allied player turn. We'll flip to the German player turn. The German turn is just about the same. They have a movement phase and then a combat phase. So the first thing we have to decide on is what strategy do we want to follow? It seems reasonable that we'll sort of stick to the same approach that the Germans used historically of piling up in the east here and trying to form a wall. And the bocage country hem in the Americans. So we'll stick with that for now. We'll get started here in the east. We have some reinforcements. We have the 12th SS here, the 21st. I think we're going to move the 21st maybe over to here. So I think we'll cross them into the city and then right to that terrain, clear terrain. Our objective is to hit that airborne unit, and then we're going to move the 12th SS here and there. That puts us 2 strong divisions attacking. At the same time, we're going to move this infantry here. So we should be able to blast those airborne units right off the map there. And we have the Lair Division. They're stuck in this interdicted spot. So I just think we need them here. There's no real advantage to going into the bocage country because that costs 3 movement points. We could get here, or we could get here. Maybe we'll just do that. 3, 6, get the Lair Division there. We'll move that flak unit here. Shifting over here, these reinforcements, I think we'll be able to move them up here pretty easily. Then we have this little camp group here. You can move 4. I think we'll get them into that town. Meanwhile, we have a similar situation here with the attrition. It's going to block our path towards Utah Beach. But we really do need to get somebody over that way. Well, we'll leave that for the next reinforcement group. Instead, we're going to move that little cavalry brigade and the 17th SS Bands of Grenadiers. We're just going to bypass that interdiction spot entirely. Now, there are roads in here. Technically, a town costs 2 movement points, unless negated by road. I'm not sure if that means that I'm supposed to be able to move through here on the road and therefore pay 1 movement point. But that's what I did. Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Now we have our combats to resolve. And over here in the west, the Allies are in pretty good defensive position in the marshes behind the rivers. That division is across a river. Not really a big fan of any of those attacks right there. The best attack I have is right here. That's 3. But the bocage gives a +2. So that would be 3 against 3. Attacking on the 0 column isn't so great. So since I'm not really that threatened by that regiment, I'm going to leave them alone, just for this turn. So really my attacks are going to be way over here in the east, around Caen. I'm going to go ahead and throw my 21st Panzer right there. 7. They're in the clear, so that's a 1. Well, I don't know, there's a tiny bit of the light green there. That's considered farmland. That gives a +1, so we'll give the paratroopers the benefit of the doubt and make it 7 against 2, so a +5. Allies roll a 5 on the -5, which is a no hit, and the Germans roll a 4, which is a hit. So 1 regiment of airborne gone. The Germans can advance into that hex. Now we have 7 +4, that's 11, and we have dark green, which is forest, which is a +2 modifier. So that means we have 2 factors plus 4 altogether. So again, on the +7 column. Germans roll a 2, which still is a hit. The Allies roll an 8, but that's a miss. So 1 more regiment of airborne gone. So that'll be combat phase. And it's too soon to check for victory, so that'll be it for this turn. Basically, the Germans got a big advantage by playing that overcautious card and keeping the Allies bottled up on the beach. They were pretty successful here in their attacks in the east, keeping Caen clear, but otherwise they're maneuvering into position in the other spots, trying to keep the Americans bottled up.